Okay. Alright, here we are. Let's see if I can stop this from bouncing around a little bit. Alright. I am here with another video. It is Saturday the 6th, and it's kind of late. Not the 6th. It is Friday the 5th. I don't know what I'm talking about, people. Put a little more light on that because it is kind of dark in here. So I am doing days 87, 88, 89, and 90, because they are all envelopey type projects. Yes, they're projects. They are all envelope type collage items. So this is day 87 right here, and it's just a little envelope. And let me real quick, oh my gosh, I have like a big hot mess going on over here. Hold on, give me a second. Just, it's a little out of control. Don't do it. Don't fall down. Stay where you need to be. Okay, so I think I said before I was working with some Harry Potter book pages. I coffee dyed some, I tea dyed some. These are single pages, 2 glued together, and that's what this is made out of. And you can see they came out all different sizes, and I have a few more to work with should the desire strike me. But this one is a particularly tiny one. Oh, don't do that. So this is pretty much covered in the very back is Harry Potter book page. And then on the inside here, I put some of the, the pattern paper for a sewing pattern, just to mute that a little bit, so it's not just like in your face book page. Some on the outside here as well in the back. And then there's Tim Holtz tissue paper kind of everywhere. And this is a picture of a lady, and I think she's like pretending to fly, or it might be a skydiving picture, I'm not sure. But the message on this little envelope, and I inked up the edges here, and as I've done in most of the others, you can see that it's the sewing pattern in there. I don't even know if this is on camera. Yeah, there's a sewing pattern inside there, and I put the little hinges in there so that it, when you just glue it down, it's very stiff. You can't really get your fingers in there or put things in there. So I like to put a little hinge on there on both sides, just so that you can actually use the envelope to stuff things in. And the message on this one is love is limitless. And then I also made, this is also leftover Harry Potter book page. It's folded over on itself, and then this is from a a book about flowers, like a reference guide. I think I bought it from Natasha at one of her live sales, and I cut out all of the images, and I've been using them up on some art cards that I'm making, that I will show you once I'm done with this series. I have a whole bunch already done, and I'm going to do a whole bunch more. So it's the book page backed with some coffee dyed paper, so that it could be maybe a little journaling spot or something of that nature. More of the sewing pattern paper on there. It's also been lightly washed with some white paint, and then I glued the picture of the flowers to it. I also think I want to put a little eyelet on there and hang a little dangly thing before I'm completely done. But that's what I did on day 87. Let me put that. And I don't have any magnets or any of that Velcro with the invisible back. So I will have to get one or the other of those. Probably the Velcro with the invisible back. Just because there's no way to put the magnet under at this point. Magnets are good if you can catch it at the start of the project. And then cover up the magnet so that it's, you know, invisible. And this is day 88. The same Harry Potter book page background. On the inside of this one, I did put some music paper. And you've got the same hinge inside there. And this one is, you know, bigger. So a little Tim Holtz ephemera bird, a teal dyed doily, some teal dip dyed book page, brown butcher paper, a map. This is an image from the vintage encyclopedia, the mini encyclopedia that I have. It's set. In here is a dictionary page, a vintage map, more of the butcher paper. And so the message here is change. That's the word that spoke to me on day 88. And day 88 was the 27th of June. And so for the card on this one is a little red flower. And this is done the same exact way as the other one. It's backed with a... Actually, you know what? I lied. That is not coffee paper. That is some of the... you know, sometimes in Amazon packages you get like some scrunched up brown paper. That's what this is. You can see where I ironed it out, but it's still all wrinkly. And I don't know why I wrote 87 on that, because that is 88. 88. That's 87. Same white paint wash on it with the sewing pattern paper, and then I have no idea what kind of flower that is, because I don't know those sorts of things, although I probably should. And so that goes right in there. And I do think I want to put in the corner up there a little dangly thing with an eyelet. And that's got another paper clip closure. And probably at some point, I don't own any regular paper clips. I have no idea where they went. I used to have boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. And they went away. And I would like to do some, you know, with the little ribbon or eyelash trim or something on there, just to make it a little more fun. Some sort of I can't think of the name for what the paper clip, the altered paper clips, I guess. So these two, let me just make sure I'm on the right track here. These two are day 89. So there's your fronts. There's your backs are kind of plain, and they're mostly the same. I did these are very similar. I tried two different things on the inside to see which I liked better. Butcher paper, the painter's masking paper, music, and then you flip it over. I used a little, this is a magazine image of a flower, and that says cherish right there. So with the paper clip, and that's the back up close. And then, so here, this is it's almost like a vellum feel, but it's very super thin. It's a map of someplace in France, and that's just wrap around from the other side. And then for this one, I'll get you up closer. I'm not even sure I'm showing you in frame because I moved everything. So hopefully I am. So you've got Inspire on the front. I was really liking this red flower, so I cut the image and, you know, put it as close together as I could. And that's the other side of that one right there. And then on the inside, it's just a little more music paper and the wrap around with the paper from the other side. Now the difference on these is I put the music paper that's inside this envelope. So this is the same music paper. And I'm getting ready to coffee dye some of this because it's nice thick paper. This is the stack I'm about to coffee dye. So you can see it's like a long paper. It might make fun envelopes or pocket pages. And that's what that kind of looks like. But it's a nice thicker paper. It has a little bit of a smoothness to it, but I think it will accept the dye really well. So I'm going to give that a shot. I have I think I had a whole book of this is what I had. And it's Tchaikovsky and what else do we have? Mozart. So it's classical music. Rachmaninoff for piano and orchestra. So I'm gonna coffee dye these, but it's those pages. This one I just inked the edges, and I put the sewing pattern tissue paper on there directly on the music. And this one I did the same thing, but before that I watered down some cheap white paint, and I did just a wash over that, and then I put the sewing pattern paper, because I want these to go into a journal, either into a pocket or, you know, clipped onto the page, and for it to be a journaling spot, or if you want to do like a collage on the inside, or you want to mount a couple of photographs or something. But either one you could write on, but this one you can still see the lovely music, and I skewed it on purpose. But it's pushed further into the background, and so it wouldn't clash so much with a black pen. So I think this is, if I make more, and I'm probably going to make more, I would do it with the wash, just because I like that for the journaling better. So these aren't meant to close up like these envelopes. It's meant to just fold out and be a journaling spot, or a spot where you can make your own collage, or you can put a picture in there. And so that's day 89. And then this is the last one for this video. These are day 90. So like I made, let's see here. So I made these. This is the same style of envelope, but this one is smaller. So the one I just showed, the larger one, is made out of these children's book pages. And they're very, very long. This is half of one of the book pages. Nothing's been cut off either end. And it's pretty thick paper. Then I have some, so the smaller one is made out of, I don't think I have close to me the original paper, but it's made, this is a World War II, like it's reproductions of newspapers. Check out that mustache, oh my. I had some of these up in my Etsy shop for a while, and some of them sold, but I have a lot, because there were like 5 volumes of this book, and I picked them up pretty cheap. The paper is not terribly thick. This is 2 pages, or I think it's 1 page folded over on itself, but it may in fact be 2 pages glued together, because I think I got full signature pages out of it. But this is a thinner paper, and I cut a little bit off this end, but this is pretty much the size of the length of the page, and I believe that's half the width of the page. So I got the smaller size out of that, and then that's like the larger size there. So it's the same style of envelope, which is from Treasure Books, had the tutorial on that, and I linked it in the previous video for the larger ones, and I'll go ahead and post a link in this one as well. And I have, you know, obviously more of those done up. I intend to make more. These were just my testers to see, you know, kind of what I liked and how I was going to do it. So I'll go ahead and take the little closures off. Although at this point you may not need them. They may have stuff down enough. Now on the inside of these, I just used some of the masking paper. And this one is much thicker, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And you've got the hinges for that, so you can get some really good. This one's not as thick, so you get, it's more flexible in the front and the back. This one's very stiff in the front. So they're both lined with the painter's masking paper. And then I also did some of the, just to give it a little more interest, I crinkled up some of the sewing pattern tissue paper and put that in there as well. This is a napkin that I got from somebody's live sale, and I do not remember who. This is what the pack looked like, so if anybody remembers who I bought this from, I would be happy to give them credit for the napkin pack. But I got a couple of this napkin, and I really, really, really like it. I just like the palette, the color combo. And this is another a napkin that came with it, and it's like a French with some flowers and a little postal thing. The difference in thickness is because on the front of this one, I used some cardstock paper, and that was, in my opinion, a mistake, because it made the envelope so stiff. I mean, it doesn't make it not functional, because I can still get my hand down in there. You know, so if you drop some stuff in there and you were like storing words or little things, or you put something that was small in there, you could get your hand in there to get it out, or you could. But this one is just so much more flexible, and I just like it better. I'm gonna have to glue that back down. So when I put the napkin image on this side, it's that much darker, and I don't dislike it, but I like this side so much better. And the way this one turned out, using you know, I used 2 napkins, so I used 2 of my 3 napkins. Great sadness, because I'll probably never find this napkin again. But I love the way this turned out, and I do like this one as well, especially this side. And you can see in the background there, I didn't do anything to the book page, so you can see it a little bit, but you can't really make out anything that it is. And this one had a lot of pictures, and the napkin was not covering it, so I was like, I picked this paper because I liked the look of the paper, and I did not think about how thick it was. And I wish I had chosen something thinner. That's my only gripe on this one, because I like how it turned out fine with the darker. It really, you can see the change in the tone of the project from, this is on a much lighter background, and this is on a darker background, so you get a heavier, less light and cheerful feel to this side with the Tim Holtz butterfly. And I have to tell you, I'm super, super sad. This is all I have left of my Tim Holtz ephemera pack, and most of it is not flowers. That's not part of the Tim Holtz. It just keeps winding up in there. Most of it's these, and these will probably go out if anybody signs up for Happy Mail, because I don't particularly love them. Obviously I use them on here, but I thought they went with the napkins. Not that I particularly love. I'm not really a bird person, although I do admit, when I see stuff with birds on it, I like it, like the collages, or when people use the birds as a focal image. I do enjoy that, quite honestly, but I don't think of myself as a bird person, and I know 0 things about birds other than they fly and they have wings and they lay eggs. So this one says Imagine on it, and it's just the napkin and the butterfly and the napkin. And then this one is the napkin, and I've put one of those images from that book that's from the cards that I showed you out of the first 2 envelopes. I just added an image back there. And then on this side it says Family, and it's also just the napkin over the book page. And I put in one of the little square cards because the colors just went really well with this palette, I thought, and it's flowers and butterflies. And so the birds went with the whole theme, I felt. And so, you know, birds are I think the trouble I run into is the words on these, because you know, this is a clothing manufacturer and it doesn't really have anything to, and I get hung up on everything having to go with the message and just not randomly sticking stuff on there. So that may be what I have trouble with them, outside of the fact that I'm not a bird person. So that is day 90. So all that's left are the last 10 days. And the 6th is day 97. So I have 91 through 96 complete, and I will make probably one video out of that because it's a neat little stack of, they're pretty much all the same, very within a limited range. They're made out of different things, but they're all roughly the same size. So I will probably do one more video and spin through that, and then what will happen is the last 4 days will pass and I'll do a video at the end of the last 4. I don't think that I will take the time to do an individual video for each day's thing. But remember, I asked a question yesterday, so if anybody watches this and you think you want some of these things as Happy Mail, or you just want some of these things, shoot me a message on, you know, in any of the ways from the description box. And I do need to post my email in the previous video after I said I would. I totally forgot when I was doing the description and everything. So I will go back and add it, and I'll add it to this video as well. If you're interested in Happy Mail from me, please send me your address, and you are more than welcome to say if you think that people would want the collages in Happy Mail or they would not. I'm not going to be offended either way. I'm just trying to think of things to do with them, because most of them are probably not really appropriate to put in journals that I'm working on at the moment. So they would just sit around, and I'd love if somebody loves an item in particular or would just like to receive a random one, I'd love for them to find a home where somebody might use them in another project or use them as a focal image, you know, just as a, like a, you know, a vision board kind of thing, or a message, or to put it in your personal journal or use it as a bookmark, you know, whatever. But if somebody would like something, I would like to find the ones I'm not going to bind in the book a new home. So that's my motivation there. That is all I have for this video, and we are at 22 minutes. Gosh, I can blabber on. All right, so that is all for today. I hope whatever day you are watching this, it is a wonderful, joy-filled day for you, and I hope that you are having a crafty, good time, if that's your thing. If it's not, I hope you're having a good time doing whatever things you do like. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye-bye.